All right, welcome back, guys. It's been a hot minute since my last video. I wanted to be super consistent with these, and I still will be. Okay, the goal was to do 20 videos this year, and I think that's still possible. I want to do my best. Turns out running a coaching company, trying to be a pro athlete, and trying to start YouTube is quite tough. But it doesn't mean we cower away from the goal. All right, I still want to be able to provide. I still want to, do the thing that I said I was going to do. So we just pivot a little bit. I'm actually going to bring on someone else to just start filming and doing all the stuff for me in terms of YouTube, because it's actually a pretty hard thing to crack. But I love the excitement of it. Helps bring out my creativity. And I love a challenge. So I'm actually editing this video right now. So by the time you see this, I guess that's what I was doing right now. But look, this video, we're gonna do it a little bit different. I want to change things up a little bit. We're just gonna watch me and two of my boys rip into a session. This video was actually filmed probably a couple of months back now, but I never dropped it. So I thought, you know what, we're talking about training this video, we're talking about hypertrophy, so why not drop it as well? And then at the end of the video, hope you guys stick around. I'm gonna drop some gems. I'm gonna drop some information on how to get the most out of your hypertrophy training so you can grow some muscle. So that's pretty much it. Let's get right into the video.
They just messaged me. It says L carnitine, like twice? Like, does that mean I can have 2 scoops? Like in the morning?
Is this hard to talk?
And then one on.
With a 4. Why do I feel like I've been here before? I started from nothing. Nothing but a dream. The vision I saw, I've vividly drawn. Precision. The life that I'm living is written. Some of the papers are crippled and torn, but who would have thought? Said who would have?
Said who would have thought? Maybe my dreams ain't quite what they bought. Who would have thought? I guess I'm chasing gold coming from stone.
I knew that I'd have what it takes. My foot on the gas, ain't pressing no brakes. I can take you back to regular days, still fresh in my brain. Still feels like yesterday. This time last year just turned 18. No cake or cream, a broadcast kid from Brighton with a big dream.
74.75 yesterday. So tomorrow I should wake up around 74 and go again.
I want to push you to like 73.
I haven't even done cardio today, so still got that.
It moving, now we're too late, can't nobody touch me. Reborn. I find this shit funny, man, who would have thought? I mean, of course, but who would have thought? Who would have?
I've grown, I've fought, I've been reborn. Cause that's what life taught me, and I would have thought that I'd been chasing gold coming from stone. Broken homes, and I've been chasing gold coming from stone. Broken homes, and I've been chasing gold coming from stone.
We flipped it. Now it's all lit this, tell 'em we did it. I got gold, I'm still the same kiddie, but I won't go back to that place, I admit it. Broken homes, they're just building bricks, cause all that pain, they help build the kids. Still healing, with a feeling of being on top, nothing can beat it. The hurdles, I beat it. Now the girlies, I'm beating a 10 out of 10. I brung all my friends, and I still got love for the roots to the end.
What are we saying? Who's that?
Same tutus. Yeah.
Yeah, let's go all out. Maybe do a double.
Living is written. Some of the papers are crippled and torn, but who would have thought? Said who would have?
I've grown, I've fought, I've been reborn. Cause that's what life taught me, and I would have thought that I'd been chasing gold coming from stone. Broken homes, and I've been chasing gold coming from stone. Broken homes.
In a day. Little do we know he's thinking about pizzas, burgers, and chilies. You just looked at a photo of a burger.
now he's locked.
Visions of Martin Luther staring at me. Malcolm X put a hex on my future, someone catch me. I'm falling victim to a revolutionary song. The Serengeti's clone. Back to put you backstabbers back on your spinal bone. You slit your disc when I slit you my dish. You wanted to diss but jumped on my dick. Grown men never should bite their tongue unless you eating pussy that smell like it's a stale plum. I got my finger on the motherfucking pistol, aiming it at a pig. Charlotte's Web is gonna miss you. My issue isn't televising. You ain't gotta tell the wise how to stay on beat because our life's an instrumental. This is physical and mental. I won't sugarcoat it. You'll die from diabetes if these other niggas wrote it. And everything on TV just a figment of imagination. I don't want a plastic nation. Dread that like a Haitian. Why you motherfuckers waiting? I be off the slave ship, building pyramids, writing my own hieroglyphs. Just call it shit high power. Nigga, nothing less than high power. 5-star dishes, food for thought, bitches. I mean, this shit is Huey Newton going stupid, you can't resist his high power. Throw your hands up for high power. Visions of Martin Luther staring at me. If I see it how he seen it, that would make my parents happy. Sorry mama, I can't turn the other cheek. They wanna knock me off the edge like a fucking widow's peak. And she always told me pray for the weak. Them demons got me, I ain't prayed in some weeks. Dear Lord, come save me, the devil's working on.
How's the look?
Black man in the Illuminati. Last time I checked, that was the biggest racist party. So get up off that slave ship, build your own pyramids, write your own hieroglyphs. Just call it shit high power. Nigga, nothing less than high power. 5-star dishes, food for thought, bitches. I mean, this shit is Bobby Seale making meals, you can't resist his high power. Throw your hands up for high power. Who said a black man in Illuminati? Last time I checked, that was the biggest racist party. Last time I checked, we was racing with Marcus Garvey on the freeway to Africa till I wrecked my Audi. And I want everybody to view my autopsy so you can see exactly where the government has shot me. No conspiracy, my fate is inevitable. They play musical chairs once I'm on that pedestal. Frightening, so fucking frightening, enough to drive a man insane, a woman insane. The reason Lorraine O don't sing, or Kurt Cobain loaded that clip and then said bang. The drum made brains crazy, product of the late 80s, trying to stay above water, that's why we shun the Navy. Pull your guns and play me, let's set it off. Cause a riot, throw a model top. Somebody told me them pirates had got lost. Cause we been off them slave ships, got our own pyramids, write our own hieroglyphs. Just call it shit high power. Yeah, nothing less than high power. 5-star dishes, food for thought, bitches. I mean, this shit is Fred Hampton on your campus. You can't resist his high power. Throw your hands up for high power. Thug life.
Alright, for this video, I was going to get the whiteboard out, but I thought, you know what, I'll just make some notes. I'll try and keep these quick because I actually tried to film this, but I went way too far into the science and it took too long. So for the purpose of this YouTube video, I'm going to keep it a little bit simpler and I won't be able to touch on why these things are so important, but I'm obsessing over hypertrophy and how to grow muscle for probably half a decade or more. And these are the things that I've really come up with, you know, in the context of training, that's really going to help your performance and, you know, help you really nail hypertrophy. and growing muscle. So let's get into it. So the first one is mobility and stability, okay? So, get rid of that mindset of just going into the gym and just doing your main movements, doing 4 sets of 12, and that's it, okay? Make sure you make room and make time for, 10 to 15 minutes of first doing your mobility and your stability. That makes sense for the joint that you're kind of going to work. So an example of this is, if you are doing, let's say, a lower body workout, then obviously your knees and your hips are going to be the joint that's involved here. Okay, if you're doing upper body, shoulders, chest, upper back, then your shoulders are going to be the joint. That makes the most sense. That's going to be involved. So what you want to do is, for hypertrophy, what makes the most sense, why mobility makes sense is because we have to execute with full range of motion. Okay, so get rid of half reps, get rid of quarter reps. The muscle grows the most when it is taken to its fully lengthened position and contracted as hard as it can go. So full range of motion is key. All right, and you're going to get better full range of motion by doing mobility movements first. The next one is stability. Now, why stability is important is because when a joint is stable, it's going to produce more power. All right, an unstable joint isn't going to allow the surrounding muscles to fully express their force, okay, and the power that you have in those muscles. So stability is super, super important. You could probably relate to this by if you've ever had like a bit of a shoulder niggle or an impingement and that shoulder feels unstable. And, when you're doing like an incline chest press, like the good side, you can just keep going. And the bad side, it's not like, it doesn't feel heavy. It's just that joint feels a bit unstable. Okay. So then that is the reason why you stop the set. So stability is absolute key. All right. These two I like to do as prehab movements at the start of all my sessions. Now, the second one I want to go into, the second key pillar here is positional demands. So what this means is just knowing how to actually properly position yourself into machines if you're doing a machine-based exercise, or even how to set your body up against load if it's more of a compound movement, more like with free weights. Right, so the first one that I want to talk about here is line of pull, okay, and it's going to tie into the second one. Line of pull. So all that means is, for example, if I'm doing like, a lower chest press, the line of pull we kind of want to go with, or the line of the bar, the line of resistance, is we want the bar around nipple height, okay? Right? So if the bar's kind of up here, then you're not executing properly. If the bar's too low down here, you won't be executing properly. So knowing where the line of pull is very important from exercise to exercise. Now, how this correlates is to the next one is knowing fiber orientation. So knowing what part of the muscle you're actually hitting to get into the right positional demands. Because like I could sit here and just say, we're training chest today, but there's actually 3 fiber orientations of the chest, okay? So there's your mid pec, which kind of goes straight across. So that's when you're sort of flat pressing and you want the barbell or, the line of pull to be sort of across nipple height. There's lower chest, okay? So costal fibers, which we actually kind of want to press downwards, all right? So anything like dips or anything like sort of high cable sort of flies, especially pushing in downwards position, really going to hit that sort of lower pec area, okay? Your pec minor. If we want to do upper pecs though, for example, like when you are doing an incline bench, I see people doing this all the time where they do an incline bench where they have their elbows flared, okay? That's going to go against the line of pull, okay? And you won't be respecting the fiber orientation of the upper pecs because the upper pecs actually run from here, which they insert right into the shoulder joint, and they actually go upwards on a 45-degree angle all the way up to the clavicle, okay? Or your collarbone. So you actually want to be pressing upwards like that. That goes across the line of your fiber orientation of your upper pecs. All right, so that's going to be number 2. Now, number 3 is resistance profiles. So knowing when it actually gets hard, what part of the rep it actually gets hard. And we now know that we want to kind of gear towards biasing length and position because they've now found that there is just a higher anabolic effect when we spend more time in lengthened positions of the muscle. So an example of this is kind of like spending more time, we'll keep running with the incline press variation, spend more time at the bottom rather than at the top at the lockout. okay? So know where the resistance profile is going to benefit you. Another example of this might be choosing the incline curls, okay, where this puts us in a lengthened position over always just doing preacher curls. I still think shortened position movements have their time and place, but I personally like to program more towards lengthened bias positions and spending more time in the stretch position, especially in the context of hypertrophy. All right, so number 3 here is mind-muscle connection. Now, I'll go pretty quick through this one, but essentially you just want to really feel the muscle before you go towards your working sets. I'm going to give you 3 different key areas to focus on to make sure that you get a good mind-muscle connection. So number 1 is pre-activation. So doing 1 to 2 sets prior to a working set, that is going to make sure that you have a huge amount of blood flow and a good connection to your chest. So running with the example of training chest, you know, we can think of maybe doing 2 sets of push-ups to failure, or even cable flies at a high rep range to really flood the blood before you go into your incline pressing variation. Number 2 is good pre or peri-nutrition right before training. So making sure that you have adequate water, carb, and sodium in the muscles so they're able to contract. And number 3 is tempo. So utilizing tempo, making sure that you do take the time in the lowering phase and really stretching the muscle. You take the time at the bottom position and feel the stretch position, and you take the time to squeeze and really feel the squeeze, okay? Don't rush your movements. Work with the tempo that works with you. Personally, I like to work with the tempo for most of my movements with a 3, 2, 1, 1, okay? 3 seconds on the eccentric all the way down, 2 second pause at the bottom, 1 second pushing the weight up, and a 1 second contraction at the top. All right, and the last one is intensity. You really want to push yourself here. So the first key pillar is mindset, okay? I want to change your mindset and challenge it. When things start to get tough and uncomfortable, and when you think you are done, I want you to think 3 more. Okay, that's when the set actually starts. And those 3 more reps that you're going to do, they're the ones that's really going to contribute to the growth of the muscle. Breathing mechanics, all right? I've seen so many people try and push an all-out set, but the thing that stops them is they hold their breath, or they're not breathing in the right portion of the movement and they gas out. So you want to think, you want to either inhale at the safe position at the top, okay? Or you want to inhale as you're descending on the way down. Okay, you always want to exhale as you're producing force or squeezing the muscle. We learn this from boxers, right? So when they throw a punch, you hear it, okay? Exhalation is coupled with exertion of force. Okay, now the last thing that I want to bring here is, for the most part, all your sessions you should be going between 0 and 2 reps in reserve. You don't have to be going balls to the wall every single session, okay? But what you do want to do is you want to work between 0 to 2 reps in reserve, and that's going to be a hard enough intensity to initiate that muscle hypertrophy. All right, guys, that is it from me today. I hope you enjoyed this video. Even if it was just enjoying the training video at the start, or maybe you took away some gems from this portion of the video, I would highly love it if you could subscribe. It would really help me get motivated around inspiring you guys and educating you guys and really building and working on this YouTube. But that's it from me. Until next time.